are doing an on-camera Q&A that is going to be edited up really nicely, and we're going to put Go ahead, sit in there like the middle of the table. Going to edit this up really nicely and put your trailer on there and show it to the world. So, tell us your name and the name of your series and what it is about.
Hi, my name is Dylan Greenberg, and my friend Inez Dominguez and I wrote the web series called Maria's, the web series, and it is a lovely Latina comedy set in Brooklyn, New York, and it is about two young women living in the city, and they're both very different from each other, but they form a really strong bond and friendship. And we were here last year for our first season, and the episode that we're being, we have nominations for this season is for our surprise episode, which is the first episode to the second season, and it is a little bit longer. It's like 12 minutes, I believe, so it's a bit of a different format from the first season, and they're much shorter episodes the first season, so we're trying to get the episodes a little longer and have a little bit more content, and yeah.
Beautiful. All right, questions. What's the most challenging thing about making this particular web series?
Well, honestly, I think budget. We didn't have a very big budget, and for this surprise episode, we actually did raise $6,000, and I'm really grateful to everyone that donated. But even that's not quite enough there. And in the city, we actually filmed on the hottest weekend in the summer, and the camera was actually dying pretty much. We had to take breaks and have it cool. So that was we had to buy fans, and we actually changed locations for one of the days, and we actually had to reach out to this church and ask if we could shoot under some shade. So that was actually a really big challenge of that specific episode. But I think in general, I would say budget is very tough. But we get our friends, we ask if we could use locations, and we're really resourceful in that way. And I think if you have a good connection to Brooklyn, your community, and you get to know people, then they'll start. A lot of people wanted to help us, so that's been really awesome that we've been able to use our friends as resources.
Awesome. So, how much of your real life personality is in your character? I would say a little bit, maybe 50%. I think my character, Maria, is a little shy, a little hesitant, and I'm a little more outgoing. I would say actually I'm more like Inez's character, a little bit more outgoing, and Inez is a little, not reserved, but she's very professional. And so I would say I'm actually more like her character, and she's more like mine. But I think though that Maria has actually helped me become a little bit more just confident in myself. Just by making this character, I realized that I'm actually a little bit stronger than I thought I was. So I think that's really cool. Nice. All right. Well, if there's no more questions, let's give.
Where's Inez? Inez is actually in the Netherlands, and she's decided to go to grad school there for 2 years. So I actually haven't seen her in a year and a half, but we text every day, and I'm sending her pictures every step of the way, and she says hello. And she's supporting us 100%.
Awesome. All right. Big round of applause. Thank you. Next up, last but not least, but last, Stick Town!
I always forget this thing's on.
You want to check your mic too?
Hello.
All right.
Sorry we're so late.
No problem. So tell us your names, the name of your series, and what it's about.
My name's Liv Perriott, or Olivia Perriott, and the series is called Steep Town.
we were practicing going by our nicknames.
Yeah.
She's Liv and I'm Lex. Or Alexa, Inkula, Steep Town. So Steep Town's about, it's an absurdist comedy, trying to be anyways, about two friends trying to survive in San Francisco. Yeah.
And it's real expensive there.
Yes.
And they're not in tech, so they're just like trying to make it happen. And they're weirdos.
Tell us a little bit more about that storyline. So they're trying to make it in tech, and what kinds of things happen to them along the way?
Well, one of them moves back and is like, oh my god, how do I survive here? And they try to get a job, try to get an apartment, and it's just kind of brings to life all the magic and weirdness that San Francisco used to be and juxtaposes it against what it is now. For us, it was sort of like a love letter to San Francisco and what we've been losing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like in order to like get a room in San Francisco, you have to like go to an open house, and there'll be like 100 people there, and you have to bring something to offer, and and then you have to like make yourself look amazing because it's like, and you're also paying like crazy rent, so it's. I mean, I think it's because like the tech bros moved in, and then it like prices just went up into the roof, and so then all the places that were still like rent controlled, then everybody's vying for those places. So it's like super hard to get the rent controlled rooms. So that's basically it. But then yet you have these apartments, you know, in flats in downtown, and people just buy them up because real estate there is worth a lot of money. So a lot of people from like different countries are just buying these places, and nobody lives in them. It's like a ghost town there, but there's like no housing.
But that's not at all what our show's about.
That's not what it's about. I'm going on a tangent here. It's a total tangent. I'm trying to explain the landscape.
The inspiration.
Oh yeah, the why it's so difficult to get a freaking decent room for under $2,000.
I feel like it's an homage to all the people that lived there the last 20 years that gave it all the soul it has still.
It's
had.
Yeah.
It's kind of bringing those people to life.
Yep.
Even everyone who's in the show has moved away, so that's kind of shows
Not
you
everyone.
what's
Kim's still there. The other lead and co-creator is not here with us, Kim Pierce. She couldn't make it, but she still lives there. Like actually in the city. We moved to the East Bay.
There's actually an incredible documentary, this is another tangent, called We're Still Here. We're Still Here. It was about like the AIDS epidemic and all the gay queer culture. So
Yeah,
there is this idea of like people that are still there.
Because so many people have left, especially the queers. It's like all the, like the last lesbian bar closed down, and I mean literally it brought me to tears when that happened, and everything is just changing there so fast it doesn't feel like the same city it used to be. The city that I fell in love with,
Yeah,
really.
so we actually both moved there almost 20 years ago, so I definitely think this story reflects our 20-year journey there. And I personally just moved out of the
Away
city.
or
To the East Bay.
Just to the East Bay, but like I'm still like crying about it. And she moved just a couple years ago just to the East Bay, but it's still like different.
So to be clear, this is a comedy.
No, it's a drama. Just kidding. Yeah, it's comedy.
So I guess my last question would be, what do you, in a perfect world, if, you know, when we as creators, you know, we make a project and we want to have some sort of a social impact, right? Whether it's just making people laugh or making them think a certain way. You know, I made a drama about immigration reform. I wanted people to see things from a different perspective. What do you hope that your comedy, what do you hope would be the social impact?
Wow, that's a really big question.
It sure is. And I have like different thoughts on that. Because this took us like over 5 years to finish, just because of various reasons. Like we both, you know, had families and kids during that time, and we were working on, you know, we didn't have money, so it was like working on the weekends around our full-time jobs in order to like get our friends to help us on the weekends to do the shoots and to schedule it. And so it took us like over a year just in production, and then it took over a year in post-production. It was crazy. And then there were breaks in between to like have a newborn baby. So anyways, in that time, like when we started this, Obama was president. So like life was good. Like it was chill, man. Like it was just about like making people laugh, and that was when it was written. But then, you know, it's like all of a sudden, I'm going to say a bad word, a man that is not very good has come into the country, and we've already written it and we're just in the post-production stage, and all of a sudden there are all these things that I'm like thinking of that could have been like put in there, or that I wish. So it feels real, like a different kind of thing that I would make now. So I guess what I would say is, I don't know. It's like making people laugh. That's
Yeah, I think it was just making people laugh. I've always asked that question in general, like, why do we do this at all? Like, why do any of us do what we do? Because there's like, I have to overcome a certain level of narcissism and like fear of like, oh, I'm being too egotistical telling the story. And then I go back to like, why does Disney do what they do? And it's just like to make people feel good, to make people relate to an experience, to entertain. So I think this particular show, like we've both done different films in the past that have a little bit more social justice, and sometimes I think the show isn't like a gay show, but it definitely has a lot of
queer characters just in there. It's
queer
not
sensibility.
Yeah.
So I think
It's just almost normalizing it.
yeah, normalizing it
Yeah.
as part of the storytelling is one thing it's doing, and I think it's mostly we're just trying to have fun and entertain.
I mean, there is the whole thing about San Francisco being too expensive and tech bros like taking over our city.
Well, that gentrification.
Yeah, gentrification. It happens everywhere. But, and you know what? I do have to say, like, lesbians are a lot of time the people who started, because we're like, we don't make money and we're poor, and then we move into areas and we're like, hi, we're here, and then everybody, all the rich people all of a sudden are like, oh, it's cool now, let's go there. We're like, no!
So she's an influencer in the gentrification.
No! But yeah.
Okay. Excellent answer. Excellent answer. So, huge round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, so let me tell you what's about to happen next. What's about to happen next is some people are going to start delivering appetizers to that back room there. You're going to hear some music.